and welcome to a new video for Caregivers Community. I am your host, Danielle Gray, and this is my channel. To give you a little bit of background on me, I am a full-time caregiver for about 3 years, almost 3 years coming now, and I am a caregiver to my mom who has ovarian cancer. I became a full-time caregiver when she first got diagnosed, and it's been a journey ever since. I also am a caregiver in the sense of I have a lot of experience actually behind caregiving. I have been doing it for a really long time. It started out as babysitting, and it moved to being a daycare teacher. Then it moved to just taking care of my mom with her chronic pain and migraines, and then it became full-time caregiving when she became diagnosed with ovarian stage 3 cancer. Now, the topic I want to talk about today is the nervous system and how it affects caregivers mostly. I just want to touch base on this topic. I'm not a scientist, I'm not a doctor, so I don't fully know how the nervous system does work. All I really know is that it can affect caregivers to the extreme, and I do know a little bit about the nervous system. So let's get into the topic. So your nervous system basically tells you that you are in danger. That's what it was built for. Back in the day, really, really long time ago, when humans started to be created or were alive and hunting for food, they would have a nervous system that would tell them they were in danger because a bear was coming at them, and they would go into a flight or freeze mode. And then they would learn how to calm down, usually by deep breaths or walking on nature. And I'm just assuming that this is how they did it because back then there wasn't really much of anything else. I mean, it was the beginning of time, so it basically was like laying down, breathing, just to get your nervous system back into place. So when you're a caregiver, when you hear devastating news like a parent or a loved one that you are caring for, or even a friend, you hear devastating news that their body is being attacked by a terminal illness. What I've experienced anyways, is that my body ended up going into this flight or fight mode where I was constantly anxious, I was constantly stressed, I wasn't sleeping properly, I was constantly crying. I didn't really know how to react. It was kind of like just having a constant mental breakdown, an emotional breakdown, but it was just because I was experiencing fear, and the fear was happening on a daily basis because of the unknown. And the unknown was because we didn't know if she was going to make it through surgery, which was a 9-hour surgery, and then what happened after her surgery was we didn't know when she was going to come home. And when she did come home, I was worried that I couldn't take care of her. There was like a PSW that was the professional caregiver that would come in and actually help clean her wounds and taught me how to do it. But at the time, I was still freaking right out. I was trying to prepare for my mom to come back home, and that was scary because I wanted to make sure that everything was clean and everything was sanitized, because I was afraid of her getting sick, because we couldn't get her sick because she had to move into going to chemo. So I was just not in the greatest place, and I was constantly freaking right out, and it got to the point where I ended up in the hospital with a heart condition, and I don't really know how to pronounce them, but it's a 2 kind of inflammations that you can either have one or the other, or it's very rare that you have both, but I ended up with a heart condition where you have an inflammation inside of your heart and inflammation outside of your heart. And what the doctor told me was because I was going through extreme stress, and I was one of the youngest patients to be admitted in the hospital for this heart condition, because it usually happens to elderly people, not to people who are in their 30s. So what ended up happening was I was experiencing so much stress because my nervous system didn't know how to calm itself down and go back into rest and digest, that it literally worked up to the point where I was having heart problems. At first I thought it was a heart attack, because that can occur when you have such extreme stress that you could go into a heart attack. But mine situation was, I ended up with two heart inflammations, and usually you experience one or the other. You experience it either out of your heart or in your heart, and I was experiencing both in my heart. So that was an interesting experience, but I had to learn how to manage my stress a little bit better and prioritize my self-care, because didn't really know. I didn't really know that I was having this problem until I ended up in the hospital. And then I was sleeping a lot more because I had to do that because of the stress level that I was experiencing. And I wasn't getting enough sleep at the time. So they were telling me that you had to sleep more. They put me on a little bit of medication to calm my heart down. But like, sleep was key. So and no physical activity. I was not allowed to do any physical activity. But that's like the extreme of like, when your nervous system is going insane, and that can happen when you are a caregiver, because what I find is, if you love somebody so much, like regardless of whether it's a friend or a parent or a child, any loved one that you're taking care of, you're going to get to that extreme point where your nervous system doesn't know how to calm itself down, because it's so terrified of losing somebody that you actually really truly love unconditionally, to the point where it becomes scary, because you don't know what your life is going to look like without them. And it's also scary because they're scared too, which they have every right to be. That's what's going on in their body. Like, that's terrifying. And you don't want to lose the person, and death is scary. I know that I might be flagged for that word, but honestly, it's just, it can be hard. It can be hard on everybody, quite frankly. Being diagnosed with a terminal illness is really hard to navigate. It's not easy. There isn't a handbook that tells you how you can navigate it a little bit better and make it easier for you. I mean, it is what it is. But like, when you love somebody, your nervous system is not going to be like, oh, let's just go into rest and digest. That's just not going to happen. Like, it's just like, you can't be relaxed and chill and okay with everything that's going on with somebody that you love. You're going to do the opposite. Your body's going to do what it's naturally taught. When it feels fear, it's going to scream at you. It's going to say, I'm scared. It's going to say, I'm nervous. You're not going to be the same person that you were going into that situation. Like, you're scared about the diagnosis to begin with, and then you're scared about the person's diagnosis. And it's not an easy situation. Nobody tells you how easy this situation can be. It's just learning how to navigate the fact that you need to take care of yourself as well. Because and I've said this in other videos, if you don't take care of yourself, then the person that you love, they have nobody to take care of them. So like, what I usually talk about in my videos, I've talked about burnout with caregivers, and I've talked about self-care. You can check those two videos out. They are in my channel. Those are really good little tips and tricks and stuff that I've learned. But the truth is that you're going to feel fear. So find things that can calm your nervous system by breath work. Breath work is good, like just breathing in and out, like just when you experience something that's really, really scary, when you get like a diagnosis, like somebody that you do love has, just breathe. Try to breathe, because the anxiety will be turned up from a 0 to a 10 in like a second. So just breathe it out. Feel your body coming down. Going on walks, being in nature, those are the things that will calm your nervous system down. Those are the things that have saved me in the past and still do to this day. Whenever I feel really, really anxious, I like to go out on walks. I like to be connected to nature. I like to lean on trees. I like to take off my shoes and walking through the grass. I like to feel connected to nature because it lets me know, it reminds me that I'm alive. And your nervous system, when it overreacts, it's telling you that you're not safe, and that, like, it's the feeling of I'm not alive. You're going to feel not human. You're not going to feel like you're alive, because what you're experiencing quite frankly feels so terrifying that you even forget that you're a human being, because you're forgetting your logic has gone out the window. Your nervous system isn't about logic, it's about what it's experiencing, and if it's experiencing fear, then that's when it's going to feel. So you need to create a community. You need to have people to lean on. You need to figure out ways to relax yourself. You need to do things that make you feel good. You need to connect with your inner child. You need to either paint, color, do things that you used to do when you were a kid, because that helps. That helps your nervous system calm down. That helps you feel lighter. That helps your body remember that to go back into your body. It reminds you to be present and to take care of yourself. So the things that you used to do as a child that you loved, and I know this sounds silly, but it's actually really, really good for your mental health, and really, really good for just connection to yourself, and it gives you a way to feel lighter when you are stressed out, when you feel like overwhelmed. Is to reconnect with your inner child and just experience things that you used to experience when you were a kid. Maybe a different scenario this time, maybe more adult, but like maybe you liked swimming as a kid. Maybe taking baths will help you out. I know they do for me. Painting I really like, so I do a lot of coloring. I'm trying to get back into painting, and just these little things help me and help my anxiety so much that sometimes I don't feel anxious at all. And when I do feel anxious, when there's every time there's a doctor's appointment, whether it's mine or my mom's or anybody's, I like to do something that relaxes me before I go in and after I come back, because just the energy of the fear that you're going through, that you're experiencing with the body and the nervous system, it's kind of insane. So just so you know, like, remember to take care of yourself. And I have other videos, like I've said before on this video, I have other videos that relate to this same topic about taking care of yourself. I have one on caregivers. Well, they're all about caregiving, sorry. I have one on self-care, and I have one on burnout. And these are just, like, once again, I'm not a doctor, but I do know from my life experience and being a caregiver that all of these things will help you. And I have a lot of experience in this. So just be kind to yourself and try to give yourself as much kindness as possible, because I think that as caregivers we tend to forget that we don't have to be perfect, And that also adds to the stress of caregiving, is that we think that we need to be perfect for our loved one, and then we forget that, you know what, we're all human. We've all screwed up. We've all made mistakes. And as long as we're not hurting anybody, I think it's perfectly okay for us to have time to take care of ourselves, and for our loved ones to be able to have that alone time where they feel like they're themselves too, because their nervous systems are also not doing the greatest, because they are the ones that are actually experiencing this, and it's 10 times worse than the caregiver's experience. I'm not trying to minimize being a caregiver, but I'm just explaining that the person that we are caring for is experiencing what they're experiencing, and it's 10 times worse than what the caregiver is actually experiencing. So we need to give them, I know that we're always giving them grace because that's the right thing to do, but we also need to give ourselves a little bit of grace because we've chosen to take care of somebody that we love, and it's scary sometimes because we don't know if they're going to survive what they're going to survive, and all we're trying to do is hold on a little bit longer and hold on a little bit tighter, and just have those moments where have those blissful moments with them, and make as many memories with them as possible, because at the end of the day, we don't know when it's going to be somebody's last day. So it's just, the nervous system is so important to take care of, and I know that as caregivers we forget about everybody but ourselves a lot of the time, and when it comes to caring for our health, we got to take care of it, because we can't lead from an empty cup and expect to take care of people when we're not showing up for ourselves. So in regards of the nervous system, that's just the way that it's going to react, because you are a human being. So don't be hard on yourself, and just know that you can reset your nervous system. There are tools and ways to do that. Like I said, there's breathing techniques, there's grounding techniques where you go out into nature and you reconnect there. You can color, you can paint, depending on, do something that's your hobby. If it's playing soccer, do that. Like, you just need to constantly remind yourself, like I've said in my caregivers self-care video, you need to constantly go back to taking care of yourself, because that will reset your nervous system. That will help your nervous system and your gut and everything just go back to normal. And it's going to take a while, especially if you haven't taken care of your nervous system for a very, very long time. It might take a month to even 6 months to a year to even reset that nervous system, because you have been living in fight or flight and freeze for so long that you do forget, that your body forgets how to reset itself. So it's just important to do activities that are healthy for you, that can lead to a better mental health, that you know that it's good. If you take care of yourself and you take care of that nervous system of yours, you are only helping the person that you are caring for. And that's all we really want at the end of the day, is to be able to take care of ourselves so we can take care of the person that we love, and hopefully make a difference, not just in our lives, but in the person that we love's lives. So take care of that nervous system. It does affect you, and it will affect you sometimes on a daily basis, depending on how much you're going through as a caregiver, because we all do have different caregiving. We all have different caregiver journeys, and no person is the same, and no patient or loved one is the same that we're taking care of. So you could have your nervous system going out of whack for years and not even know it, but just know that you need to just need a little bit of self-awareness, need to reflect on yourself a little bit, need to ask your body, what is going on with me? What do I need right now? You need to kind of indulge a little bit in just, eating your favorite foods. And I know that sometimes we feel guilty for spending money on ourselves, but we need to do those things like getting pedicures and manicures and just the little things in life that will make a huge difference in the long run as we are on our caregiver's journey. And this will set you up in the long run for sure, but it will also set up your nervous system to remember that it's okay to feel safe, because at the end of the day, your body is allowed to feel safe. You're allowed to feel safe in your body, even if a situation outside of your body is scary. You're still allowed to feel safe inside of that body, so you can do the daily tasks that you need to do in order to get on with your day and live the life that you want to live, and also show up as the person that you want to show up as. So just remember that if you forget, just rewatch this video. It's going to be always here for you, and that you're not alone in this. I am here for you. And we are a community. That's why I named my channel Caregivers Community, because we are a community of caregivers, and I am here for you just like you're here for me, and we will get through this caregiver's journey together, and our nervous system will thank us in the end for it. So remember to like this video if you like it, comment, because I'd love to hear from everybody who is enjoying this video, and it helps me also know algorithm wise what videos you do enjoy, so I know what I can keep creating for you. Also, just comment if you want to see certain videos from me, and I will try my best to create them for you and give you as many tools as I possibly can from my own experience. Also share if you know somebody who is going through, who is a caregiver and needs some guidance. And also just love yourself, and remember that it's okay, and that you don't need to be a perfect caregiver, and you're doing great. So bye for now, and I'll see you in the next video next week. So thank you for watching, thank you for subscribing, thank you for liking and commenting, and I will see you again next week. Bye for now.